Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hilk empath, and I just like doing these little talks on the way I feel about things. And this evening I feel pretty good. Whoopee! It was a good day, all day long, consecutive, from the time I wake up until now. 6:41 Pacific Standard Time, December 28th, and I was watching Elementary. I like that show. I'm like an esoteric Sherlock. I think like him. So it's funny because he does I do a lot of things. The show was made 7 years ago. And I always knew that it existed, but I was busy doing other things. So, and it was always on my list. And now there's ain't a whole lot going on as far as shows. There's some decent new stuff, but there's not a lot of decent new stuff. Like Letterkenny at season 8 just came out, and I just have been on a little pink cloud since yesterday. That's when my Christmas was. I knew it was gonna be, and because I knew it was coming up on the 27th, and so I'm watching it sparingly. I'm only on episode 4, but I'm totally a girl Wayne, man. I dig that show, and it has a lot of cool beats on it too, a lot of good music. I heard a cool song that they had on called Tomboys, an old song. I wasn't paying attention when it came out, and it's a good song. I like music, and I can identify with the lyrics of that, and I've been a tomboy my whole life. And anyway, so I was watching Elementary, and there was a schizophrenia came up. And it's kind of a topic that's kind of near and dear to my heart. When I was younger, Mom would have episodes, and I'd read books and try and determine what they were, because I was always looking for answers as why people behaved the way that they did. And I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing because all I hear is this in my ear. And then Tucker back there sawing logs too. So that's why I'm laughing, not at the serious of the content that I'm speaking on. Anyway, and so Mama would have what we called episodes where she would go in under extreme situations of stress. She'd go into a psychosis, and then, they were after us. And without going into too many stories, here now, for the purpose of this video, I talk about it in other videos. Got over 830 something, 20 now, something. I tell a lot of stories in these of experiences I've had in life and things that I've gotten over, as the freaking control freaks, jerk faces, misogynists, whatever, narcissists like to say, ghostwriters, whatever. And as I got older, I've learned a lot about psychology and spirituality and science, and it's all related. It's all connected. And when people get into a vibration of, when they're thrown into a vibration of trauma, it brings their body up into an extreme state. Yeah, and some of the people were born that way. That's what Addison's disease is when the mom's under a great deal of stress in vitro, it draws on the baby's fetus, and that's exactly what happened to me. So I was surprised. They'd just gotten a divorce. Neither of them saw me coming at all. I was not planned, and so, surprise! Here, I'm your little parting gift. But anyway, so I was born sensitive. You call it autistic, you can call it sensitive, but a lot of people ordinarily we're not supposed to deal with traumatic things. Well, human nature is, but human beings aren't supposed to impose so much trauma on purpose out of greed or crimes of passion or whatever. You're not supposed to, but accidents happen, and so more and more people are having traumatic events. And I'm getting to the schizophrenic part. So what happens is people get scared, and it shocks them. It, when you go see on the news or the doctor shows clear, well, trauma does that too with your endocrine system. And that's why it. And I think of it as when it's extreme enough that your spirit will rise out of your body. That's why people often say, "Yeah, I was looking above myself," so that your body can physically process the trauma in which it's experiencing or witnessing or whatever, psyche, and then it comes back down in to your soul sac body, grounds again. Sometimes you bring in freaking entities out there because we're just radios. We're just tuning in on everything and everyone around us anyway. So why not you pick up a bug? You can't. Your body can. Why can't your spirit? Why can't people recognize that spirits get bugs? Entities, ghosts, call it whatever you want it. You know how everybody knows somebody's act a certain kind of way, and then all of a sudden they do a 180 and start acting real different. Something happens. There's a switch in everybody. And so what I'm coming to find out, and I know a lot of doctors that I'm more for the holistic approach to begin with. And if you have to use modern medicine, there's steps to do that. But I think a lot of this stuff can be remedied at the lowest common denominator, and hopefully you won't have to get up to the big pharma level. But I know there's a place for everything, and there's a lot of innovation coming up in the next few years, so that's exciting. Anyway, but consider this as far as schizophrenia is concerned. Okay, something happens to something, a switch get turned, and all of a sudden somebody's sensitive. And instead of saying, I hear, I hear voices and it's telling me to do things to yourself, just know this. Just know this. Anything for you, of the light, for your highest good, God, good orderly direction, call it whatever you want, you only wants good things for you. So if you're hearing things that are trying to tell you to harm for you, that is a low vibrational thing. You got a virus, your spirit's got a virus or a bug, and there's a lot of people that can help you with Reiki, a lot of stuff out there, practitioners to help spiritual. I'm one of them, to help freaking get rid of these spiritual abnormalities if you want them. A lot of people, they serve them, because then they can just blame their whatever. They can blame something else besides taking responsibility for your own behavior, because that's just the easier, softer way. Anyway, if a lot of people just consider, one man's I'm hearing voices is another man's, it's their intuition, it's your. And it's people are stepping into an area, the age of Aquarius, an area where it's okay to be in tune with your spirit guides, ancestors, angels, call them whatever you want it. That's your intuition. Just know that it's the positive stuff is the one stuff you want to listen to, and the negative stuff, that's the stuff that you need to reach out and say, these are thoughts I got going on. And I definitely recommend a holistic approach first, because I don't know, that's just me though. And if you have any questions about what that holistic approach is, I got an email address, straightpeoplelikeRainbows2@gmail.com. And or we can have our just leave questions and any comments down below, and I'd be glad to answer them. But I'm here to just change the dialogue. I don't like the word schizophrenia. I like highly intuitive. Just change the dialogue. Don't let them tell you what you are. You tell them what you are. And I was gonna end up on this before I get back to elementary. Is this next year, man? Okay, people, it's gonna get freaking crazy, dude. It's gonna get like tent. When I think, what was it, when Dumbo got drunk in the tent and things got scary. It's gonna be like it's just gonna be it's so gonna be bizarre. Cause think of it like this, when when you're on the playground, you got the bully, Well, what happened is the bully bullied a lot of people. Okay, and there's one bully, and the bully grew up, and he went into all these programs, different programs, and they're everywhere. The bully is at every job. Everybody knows a bully. And as it seems like the older we get, the more bullies there are. Anyway, So what's happening is there's all these bullies that have gotten up, but they got old. And the number of bullies, number of people that they bully got really, really high. So what's happening now is the karma's coming back around. Now what happens, like when freaking, have you ever seen old dudes try to freaking reestablish their youth, that they can still do it, you know? Because their still ego is still winning, you know? They just look ridiculous. And that's what we're going to see this whole next year, is a whole freaking society that just is just done with its old way of living and its old way of doing things. And so now we're coming into a time where all of that is dying, but it's not going to die gracefully, and it's going to we're just going to see some interesting stuff. There's always stuff in the news every day. Yep, that's, that just supports the astrology. Yep, that makes sense. Yep, that's about right. Yeah, so hope you find a higher power. Hope it's something that you got to get quiet to connect to, and that you not get, from external sources, And hope you have a rad evening. Peace.